Hello, my beautiful buds. Welcome back to my channel, Sprouts with Joy. My name is Joy, and if you like to talk about plants, you're in the right place. And today I'm very excited because I'm about to get in the car and go pick up some plants that I just purchased somewhat on an impulse, but like also my husband enabled me, so it's okay, right? I saw a Facebook post this morning when I woke up in like a plant purge group that I follow in my area, and somebody was selling some plants that I was very interested in for pretty good prices in my opinion. So we're gonna go pick them up, and yeah, that's how I'm gonna open this video. I gotta hurry though because I told them I would be there at like 2:45 and I'm already running behind a little bit. So I'm gonna go do that, and then for the rest of this video, honestly, I have a bunch of plant stuff to do as always. So we're kind of opening this video with a little mini plant haul as I go pick up these plants and show them to you, and you know, we can be excited together. And then for the rest of the video, I have plant chores to do this week. So, I mean, as always, there's always stuff to get done. So I'm very happy to have you come along for the ride. Let's go. I need to go get my keys. Okay, so I just picked up the plants. They're two plants. I didn't want to awkwardly film in their driveway, but I also couldn't wait to share with you at least kind of like my first impressions. So I'm sitting in like a semi-empty parking lot a ways away. And guys, that's even better in person than it was in the photos, and that doesn't always happen, but it happened. And these plants look so good. It was 1000% worth it. Oh, do I show them to you now or do I wait until I get home? I don't know. I just wanted to like share my like giddy emotions because I still love my plants, but I don't know that I've felt genuinely giddy, like this giddy about plants in a while. See, the problem is I don't feel like showing them to you in the car is going to do them justice, but here, let me try. I do want to give you some quick background though, just so that we're all on the same page, I guess, about like how this went down. Because earlier when I was telling you, I was so scattered. I couldn't find my keys. I was rushing out the door. So this morning I saw the plants for sale, and sometimes, I mean, very frequently, I will send my husband like screenshots or screen recordings of the plants that are available, and I'll just be like,
oh, you know, like these are so fun. Like, look at these plants. Like, they're beautiful, aren't they?
but like also I don't need more plants, so it's more like admiring them from afar because, you know, I don't need every plant to be in my house for me to be happy to look at plants. Every so often though, my husband will be like, oh, you should get that one. I'm like, no, I don't need it. It's fine. But this time around, so this morning I texted pictures of the plants to my husband, like kind of like we normally do, and this time around he was like, babe, do it. Like, I want you to get those plants. But like, you don't really need to pull my arm that hard to get me to buy plants. And long story short, he hadn't really gotten me a birthday present yet. My birthday was at the end of May. We were just so busy at the end of May and I didn't really know what I wanted for my birthday. So I was like, hey, don't worry about getting me a present yet. We'll figure it out later. But now apparently like this is the later. So this is like kind of what I'm considering is my birthday present from my husband. Let me see if I can show these plants to you. I'm gonna do the first one, and then I might show them to you again when we get home, depending on how this turns out. This is the first one, first impressions. This is my first time actually fully looking at it. Okay, wow. So this is an Alocasia, Okinawa Silver, and I think it's actually a variety of the Alocasia Adora. I think that is the genus, which I have like the Aria variegated Adora, but like not this one. Is that not stunning? Oh my gosh. Oh, this is beautiful. So this was $30, which I felt like was pretty reasonable for like a variegated Alocasia. But wow, I love how some of the variegation like is really silvery. Do you see that? But obviously it's mostly like white variegation. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. And I don't love all Alocasia that I see, but I like very specific kinds, and this is one that I really like. And I've been delving a little bit more into Alocasia, so that's very exciting. Okay, and then the second one is, it was pricey. It was $150, which to date might be the most I've spent on a single plant. I think that it is actually. But once you find out what it is, I think you'll understand why. Okay? Oh, do you see it? Oh, I'm definitely gonna have to show you inside my house later because this is not doing it justice. But this is just a little preview. I got a monstera albo. And I'm not even gonna bother talking about it yet. Let's get home so I can actually show you the full thing. It is not, you can't see it in its full glory in the car. All right, we're back home. So let's talk about these plants more in detail. As promised, yeah, here's a better view of the monstera albo. So let's just look at it, okay? Are you kidding me? Look at that newest leaf. And like right here. Oh my gosh. I'm going crazy, you guys. I'm going crazy. And it's already on a moss pole. And it's already like rooting into the moss pole, which is really, really nice. Yeah, honestly, I'm flabbergasted, you guys. Like this is even more stunning in person than it was in the photo. And in the photo, like it was gorgeous, but like this is like beyond my expectations. I've been interested in getting a monstera albo from pretty much the beginning. I think like most people. I know at this point it might be viewed as like a rather basic plant, but you know, I've had many opportunities to get a monstera albo, but none of them were the right one. You know what I mean? But this one was calling to me, and this one is the right one. I was waiting to find one with like the perfect variegation, the perfect price, the perfect size that would make it worth it in my eyes. And yeah, I think that we achieved that because I was really looking for one that had strong variegation, but not completely sectoral variegation. So like look at this leaf. There's a lot of white on here, but there's also a lot of marbling, and like even this leaf down here, like there's just a lot of healthy looking variegation to where I'm fairly confident that this isn't going to like revert on me. The stem and petioles also look really, really good. And yeah, like it's already up a pole. It's already like a decent size, and it's like already fairly mature. It's not like a tiny, tiny baby. Yeah, it's great. It's so good. I am beyond thrilled about this find. And here's another closer look at the alocasia. Wow, you guys, I truly got two incredible variegated plants today. I am beside myself. I actually don't think that I realized this when I got the plants online, but it looks like they actually have like they're actually like a little plant shop kind of run out of their home. So this is their card. It's called Green Therapy. So you guys might also be able to buy plants from them online, maybe on their Instagram, Green Therapy Tropical Plants. I haven't looked at it yet, and obviously I'm local to them, so I was able to just go pick it up. But okay, so I don't know if there is an option to buy from them like online, but if you're local to the area, I'm looking at their Instagram page. It looks like they do like pop-ups from time to time, and they're on Facebook and stuff like that. Yeah, that's really exciting. These are really healthy and beautiful plants, and I can't believe that I have these plants. Now, speaking of like getting new plants and all that, I don't know that I'm gonna do it in this video. I might. We'll see. I might do it off camera as well. But I've been finding that there's a number of plants that, you know, I've tried with them. I've given it a good shot, but I'm getting kind of tired of them because they're not growing the way that I would want them to grow. And I'm kind of tired of putting in the effort and not having anything to show for it. So I may be getting rid of some plants to make room for these plants and other plants that like I actually really would like to grow or try. Realistically, not every plant is going to be for everyone, but sometimes you don't know that until you try it. And there are some plants I've had in my collection for a couple of years now that have never really done it for me. And I just, at this point, I don't think that they will. So yeah, maybe in this video or a later video, I'll talk more about that. But suffice it to say, I am planning on kind of like zhuzhing things around and making room in my collection to give both of these plants really ideal locations. So yeah, that's it for today, but I will film more for this video later this week. So see you then. So remember how I mentioned that I was considering getting rid of some plants? Well, I think I'm going to start the process today. So my philodendron silver sword and Philodendron Pink Princess. And neither of these are looking good, like at all. So I think I'm going to let them go. They've been more sources of frustration than joy. And what I think I'm gonna do is I will take a few cuttings and keep them in my prop box. Just to hold on to some pieces of the plant because I don't think I'm 1000% ready to give up yet, but I think I need to take a step back. And at this point, I don't feel like it's that salvageable in this state. Clearly, they haven't been happy with the way that I've been trying to grow them. So yeah, this is the silver sword. As you can see, I mean, the leaves really have not sized up in any meaningful way, even though it's been on a moss pole. I've had a really hard time keeping up with the watering with this one for some reason. I think I might want to try the plant again sometime in the future, but not in this form, not in the place where it's been. So I want to just take like one cutting and pretty much give the rest of the plant away. Same story for my Philodendron Pink Princess, although the difference with this one is that I do actually already have several cuttings of this laying around with the intent of kind of trying again. It's my endless quest of making a nice pink princess. I feel like it goes strong for a little while and then it devolves and does not work the way that I want it to work and grow. So clearly, again, whatever I'm doing is not working. So I just want to start it over and try it in a different environment, trying to do different things. Like maybe these will be happier in a greenhouse cabinet or in different lighting or different pots. I mean, I don't know. I'm just gonna try something different with them. But I do think I'm gonna pretty much disassemble this whole situation, take the cuttings that I want and give away the rest. Because the cool thing is actually my local library has a little plant shelf where you can bring in plants and leave them and people will come and take them if they want to add them to their collection. And that's a very like easy, hands-off way of passing along the plants, giving another person the opportunity to try them out for free without me having to actively find someone to give them away to. But yeah, I want to disassemble these and actually reuse these moss poles because the other thing I want to do today, if you can hear my children, don't worry about that, they're just playing. The other thing I want to do today is actually extend a bunch of moss poles. And yeah, I would just rather reuse these if I can. So let's get started. We're gonna disassemble these guys first, and then we're gonna extend a bunch of moss poles, and hopefully I can get it all done. This is already a mess from the last time I used it. Oops. I am gonna, like I said, kind of disassemble the whole thing. So I'm taking out the moss pole. I think that there are maybe some roots in here. Sorry, plant. It's gonna be a little bit traumatic for you. It's okay. Now, I don't think that the lack of success of these plants is like entirely the plant's fault or anything like that. I mean, I definitely, you know, I think the difficulty is, you know, if you're not as excited about a plant, it's easy to neglect it or to not give it like the best spot in your home or the best care. So then of course that kind of creates the cycle of the plant continues to not do as well as it theoretically could. Because if you're not excited about it, you're not taking the best care of it, and then it's not growing, so you continue to be not that excited about it. So it's really a vicious cycle. But, you know, even though it's really not the plant's fault, you know, at a certain point, you just kind of got to stop torturing yourself and let go. Because if it's not a relationship that's beneficial to either of you, you know, there's no guilt in cutting ties with a plant. So let's see where I want to cut it. Oh, well, that part just kind of snapped off. It did root quite a bit into the moss pole, actually. So we've got a lot of roots to work with as I kind of started over. I might pick a different pot though, because selfishly, I want to keep my clear pots because that's what I prefer to use. But these are still functional. They'll be fine for somebody that's picking them up. I actually think, so even though there's a lot of roots down here, there are like a lot of roots right here that came into the moss. And all this is just like stem with roots on it. But just for the sake of it fitting into the pot nicely, I think I might chop off this bottom portion, see, because I don't think that it's completely necessary to sustain the plant, especially once I take more cuttings. And that way it'll be like a little bit nicer. So yeah, and that way it doesn't need like the support of a pole either, technically. But here, I think I'm gonna take my cuttings maybe here and just kind of root that whole piece up for myself, just right there, just so that I have the option in the future if I decide to try to grow this plant again, I can. But then here's what we're working with. I'm just gonna pot these up together. This piece also came apart. It's not really rooted, but I'll just stick it in there and hope that it does okay. I will say whoever picks up this plant will have a pretty nice soil mix. Alrighty, I will drop this off at the library for whoever wants it. I'm gonna come in with more plants than just this because I have some other propagations to give away. And people are gonna be like, why do you have so many plants? It suddenly got so dark because I think it's gonna rain. Hopefully it's not too noticeable on the camera. But yeah, for this part, I'm honestly just gonna reuse the moss that was in the moss bowl because I don't know, why not? It's probably fine. And yeah, I just have one little cutting that then I can salvage in the future. I'll just stick it in my prop box and it'll be like relatively low maintenance in there. I probably won't have to think about it a whole lot. And you know, if I change my mind about trying it again, I can always give this piece away. I don't know, it just gives me a little bit more peace of mind that it's not completely gone from my collection. I always will have that option if I want to try it again. Okay, and let's see. Here's the next one. I'm gonna pretty much do the same exact thing. Yeah, this one in particular does not look great. So I'm gonna trim off some of these leaves that are lackluster. Which unfortunately includes like some of the prettiest leaves in my opinion, but oh well. This one I actually don't know that I'm going to propagate because I do have some Pink Princess cuttings already as kind of a backup if I do decide to grow this plant again. And honestly, like these plants, also Silver Sword included, are pretty easy to find nowadays. Like they're not what they used to be. So I'm pretty confident that, again, if I do change my mind, I can always go out and look for like the ideal specimen, really take my time to find the one that I want. Honestly, this one was also pretty rooted in the pole in the beginning. I mean, look at all those roots. You see that? So maybe I'll do something similar because again, kind of both of these plants have pretty bare nodes at the bottom there. So honestly, yeah, these beginning leaves don't look good either. So I'm just pulling them off. This leaf also is looking bad. It is kind of fun to like play with plants that you don't really care that much about. Even though, like, yeah, I'm gonna be giving these ones away and it's really low risk. So it's kind of fun to like rip these plants apart. Not in like a dark way. I think ultimately they're gonna look better for it. It's not as scary. I mean, I feel kind of bad pulling away this root system, but like not all of that is even gonna fit into the pot. And maybe it just needs a fresh start anyways. Does that fit? I mean, not even that's really gonna fit. Okay, there's two measly roots here. So I'm gonna find where the root system begins, which is about here. And that's where I'm gonna chop it. So this is the root system, which is a little bit measly for this amount of plant, but I think it's gonna be okay. All right, so that's what the plant's gonna kind of look like. And I have a huge mess here, but we're gonna clean it up, no worries. There we go. I think that's actually pretty cute looking. It actually, in my opinion, it looks quite a bit better than it did before because, you know, these more highly variegated leaves have a bit more of a chance to stand out. So I hope that whoever picks up this plant will enjoy it. Again, like this will be nice for whoever gets it because it'll be free for them to pick up and they can kind of try out a new plant with no real risk involved. And if it works out, it works out for them. But if it doesn't, you know, it was pretty low risk for them to pick it up anyway. So yes, I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm honestly really excited to get these plants out of my house. Just for the sake of making room for plants that I'm a lot more interested in. All right, I think most of the rest of what I'm gonna be doing, did that sentence make any sense? Okay, now I've got a bunch of moss poles to extend. So this first one is probably the most straightforward of all of them, probably, because I think some of the other ones are also going to need like a repot in addition to a moss pole extension. Actually, I lied, there's another one that's also pretty simple. But this is my variegated monstera adansonii, which is a beautiful, beautiful plant. This, I believe, will be the last extension that I can add to it with it still being in the greenhouse cabinet, because after this point, it won't fit anymore, and I'm very, very afraid of that. But yeah, first off, I need to trim off this like black zip tie that is holding it together at the top here, because that's where we're gonna make the addition. Another note that I have about this plant is that I actually recently chopped it. Like I just took one leaf off and I gave it to a friend, and it did activate a new growth point. However, I am just a smidgen nervous because this new growth looks very pale, very white. There is like a little bit of green to it that you can just barely make out. But yeah, this leaf is going to be predominantly white, which again makes me nervous because like I don't want this plant to just start putting out all white leaves because yeah, it will not survive that way. There are some streaks of green. It's hard to make out. They're very, very pale streaks of green. And let me see, this pole is so like dirty and gross, so maybe I'll go wash this off really fast. But I think I am going to just reuse one of the poles from before. Pretty straightforward for the most part. I'm gonna add in kind of like a cinch point in the middle here, just to help the shape of the pole be correct. Okay. I don't know if you can hear, but my kids are like laughing together, and I love that they're at the age where they can finally like play together and get along better than they ever have, because they are about 22 months apart. And for quite a long while, they were, I don't know, they behaved more like competitors than anything. And obviously, like my son, the younger one, he was a little bit more of like a potato for a long time and, you know, couldn't really play with others, more alongside. But now he'll be turning 2 in October. So he's getting really, really close to being able to like play with other kids. And his sister, who will be 4 in December, like she's been at that level for a little while now where she plays with other kids pretty decently well. But yeah, I'm excited that they are finally kind of getting along a little bit better, because yeah, for a long time there, my daughter would just get so emotional and upset about my son, you know, taking toys from her or playing with her toys. And of course, like they kind of had to go through that learning curve of learning how to share. They're not 100% there yet, but they're doing way better at sharing and playing together. And he understands her a little bit more and she understands him a little bit more. And yeah, it's just nice to hear them laughing rather than just competing all the time. And they're also like both a little bit more independent. So like I can leave them to play in their room while I work on stuff like this. Now, obviously I'm interrupted a lot because they'll call for me or need something, but like for the most part, I can actually get a few semi-solid blocks of time to get things done. Whereas yeah, that was practically impossible before they reached this age, unless they were both napping. Okay. Well, thankfully that one was a little bit more straightforward, although hopefully it doesn't tip over. That's always something I get overly concerned about. That's only actually happened once to me though. With my philodendron varicosum, I, watered the pole and it was just so heavy that it toppled over. And yeah, that's the only time it's happened to me though. So fingers crossed it doesn't really happen again. All right, this is my philodendron ring of fire. And this one has actually been so nice to have on a pole. I know you technically don't need to have it on a pole. There are lots of people that don't. I kind of wanted it to grow in a really orderly way. So that's kind of why I chose to have it on a pole. But I will say the root system has gone absolutely insane in here. I don't know how well you can see that, because it kind of blends into the moss, but like, yeah, seriously crazy roots in here. And also because the internodal spacing is so itty bitty, it's only on a single moss pole right now. Like I have not had to extend this yet until now. And I could even push it for a little while longer, but since I'm already here extending a bunch of other moss poles, I figured I may as well just get it done now rather than procrastinate and then it's growing beyond the moss pole and I'm behind, Like I'd rather work ahead if I can, so that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, as I was saying about the internodal spacing, I mean, it takes forever for it to outgrow the moss pole because there are so many leaves in such a small amount of space. So I would love to hear how your week has been down in the comments below. Like, what were you up to? Was it a normal week for you? Was it a fun week? I mean, we're in the thick of summer right now, so I know a lot of people that are like on vacation or are doing a lot of like extra summer activities. I know for us, actually this week was really, really nice because we took the week off from work. So it was technically a vacation, but we didn't really, we went somewhere, but it wasn't like we traveled to a special destination and stayed there all week type of vacation. It was more like a staycation, kind of. But my mother-in-law had the kids for a few days, and so my husband and I went backpacking. And my husband has gone backpacking, but it was my first time backpacking. We were only out for one night, but it was so much fun. We actually went to the Allegheny National Forest in Pennsylvania and we backpacked the Minister Creek Trail, camped there overnight in a tent, and yeah, it was gorgeous. I definitely would love to go backpacking again. I guess I can probably add that to my list of hobbies now because it's definitely something that, I don't know, I think I'm definitely really interested in it now, where before I had just never done it before, so I didn't really know what to expect. There's no cell service in that area either, so it was honestly really fun to like have a technology-free few days with my husband to just talk and have quality time together. There's the plant. I'm glad I got ahead on that. That's good. Next, I think I'm actually gonna do my philodendron gigas. Okay, so yeah, the rest of the week, we came back after, 2 days of being out camping. I gotta make a new moss pole here. On Wednesday, it was kind of like a half day without the kids, and my husband had some responsibilities that he had to get done for work, even though it was technically a week off. But it is what it is. I took that Wednesday as mainly an opportunity to get some writing done. It was kind of a writing retreat for me. I did not get as much done as I wanted to, but I got like a decent amount done. And I also got some stuff done around the house as well that I was wanting to catch up on. So that was like a good day. It was a nice restful day after, going backpacking for a few days, which if you don't know what that entails, that's, hiking a pretty decently challenging trail, not horrible, but challenging with a 30-pound backpack. So yeah, we were pretty worn out because I think all in all, we hiked maybe a total of like 8 or 9 miles. But anyway, yeah, so Wednesday was kind of a good like rest day. And then Thursday, which was yesterday, we went to Cedar Point and pretty much spent the whole day at Cedar Point, which if you don't know is like a theme park that has a lot of roller coasters. And obviously there's a lot of like walking involved, and it was a really hot day and we were with the kids. So when I woke up this morning, I felt definitely kind of tired because yeah, I had just spent a lot of time doing some pretty active things. Even though like we weren't working, we were still having a lot of fun. So now today is kind of a filming day for me. My husband has a bachelor party to go to, so he just left for that. I'm just kind of trying to catch up on life, get some housework done, watch the kids, hang out with them, film this portion of this video, get other plant chores done, and kind of regroup before we go back to work. But it's been a very like good week. I did bring my Kindle with me while we were camping, so I spent a lot of my downtime reading. I was mainly reading Fairy Tale by Stephen King, because that's a book that I kind of put down for a little while because I kind of was losing steam with it, but I feel like it's starting to pick back up again. I'm just past the halfway mark and it's been good, but my goal is honestly, if I could finish that book this week, that would be great. And then I can kind of move on to the next books that are on my list. But anyway, I think that is pretty good. It's got a lot more room to grow. So that's very, very good. The next few plants I need to put on moss poles, I think I might also need to, oh my gosh. They're just like screaming with each other. They enter into these screaming competitions. I don't know if you can hear them. You probably can. Cause like one of them will start just like screaming for fun and the other one starts screaming and they just scream together. And like my ears are like ringing by the end of it. I'm just like, why? But like, they're happy the whole time. I guess it's their way of bonding. So the next couple of plants, let's see, this is my philodendron splendid that is growing off the pole. This plant is such a fast grower and it's really hard to keep up with. So I think that's part of the reason that the leaves haven't really sized up substantially. But I do want to try to repot it as well because it's in a pretty small pot, I feel, for the plant. So hopefully I have a good pot for that. This is my philodendron painted lady that has been a little bit hit or miss, if I'm being honest. There are some leaves here and some of the growth that look fantastic, but other parts of it have done that stupid, you know, Cinderella leaf curl thing and the leaves have come out really distorted. Yeah, I think that this also will need a repot because it's in a very small pot. And then this is my Velvet Halo Micans that definitely needs an extension. And again, this is a pretty small pot, so I'm assuming, yeah, look at those roots coming out the bottom there. Whew. It probably needs a repot as well. So again, I'm just gonna start with the most straightforward, which is the painted lady. I'm gonna repot it first, which if I'm being honest, like the root system is really not that insane, but I think most of it has actually rooted like up into the moss pole. Maybe it will benefit from just a little bit more room. It's also been really awkward to water because when I water the moss pole, it's like so top heavy. It's just not happy with me. I really would love to get this plant to size up for me. I'm so obsessed with the way that painted ladies look when they have those like huge leaves, kind of like the one that Wild Fern has, or at least had at one point. I'm not sure if she still has it. But yeah, this plant can grow so beautifully. But we just have not gotten to that point yet, which is okay. I'll give her some more time and I'll chop her if I have to and kind of start over to keep it going. But that was a very nice and simple repot. But now I am going to extend the pole. But just like, look at how beautiful the coloring is of this plant. I really do love it. But yeah, as you can see, like even this is just kind of caught. Like this leaf is fully unfurled, but it hasn't left the petiole of the other leaf, if that makes sense. Like it's still kind of stuck. So maybe I'll spray it with water and try to free it. I don't know, I'm nervous to do this, but like the leaf is fully unfurled. That's so kind of bizarre actually. Come on, there we go. Okay, that's good. All right, well, it's all crooked still, but at least see there is a new leaf on the way that was already getting kind of trapped. Oh, that's so annoying, but whatever. Now, if you're wondering or if you're curious, these are moss poles that I make completely myself pretty much. And I like them. They function well. I like that they're open on the front but closed on the back. I will admit that sometimes it's a little bit annoying to assemble the pieces. But this time around, I did have my husband hole punch the plastic because normally I try to do it and it takes me forever, but it took him like 5 seconds because his grip strength is way better than mine. So I do appreciate his assistance this time around because yeah, that helped a lot. Although, is this one gonna line up correctly? I don't know if it is. That's the one trick, is that sometimes it just doesn't quite line up, like the holes don't. I hadn't encountered this problem yet today, so I was hoping it would be okay, but oh. See, I might need to add an extra hole to this one myself then, because I think the problem is that this needs to be farther in. So all that talk about the fact that I got my husband to do it, but I still need to make a hole. Hopefully this will be lined up. But yeah, now you can see how much of a hassle it is. Ready? Okay, there we go. Hopefully, does this work, please? All right, I think it's going to like just barely work, maybe. I will say this is another plant that has not been the most cooperative for me, but I found that I just have a lot more patience for it than like the silver sword and the pink princess that I disassembled earlier. Simply because like when this plant is growing well, first of all, it has grown well for me a couple of times, which gives me more hope for the future. But I think the other thing is that I actually just genuinely enjoy this plant more, like just the way that it looks and grows. I just find it a little bit more appealing than the other two plants. So in my mind, even though sometimes it's a little bit of a hassle, it's a little bit more worth it. Which, yeah, I mean, that's part of what this hobby is about, is figuring out which plants are worth it to you to keep on growing. And sometimes you're just not gonna know that until you try it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, and I hope that it continues to grow well despite like the little bit of a hiccup I had back here, because like what I had going on right here was fantastic. Like I want to keep doing that, and I want the leaves to size up and be beautiful. I was just checking on my kids and they're playing so well together. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. If you have children, like do you ever just like look at them in complete awe? Like, no way. They're little humans and they're learning and they're growing, and I love them so much. They're like coloring together. My daughter's learning to be such a good big sister. It's so sweet. Next up is my Philodendron Splendid, which, okay, I need to change the angle again. I feel like I'm changing the angles constantly for this video. So I'm just gonna put it in this basic terracotta pot. That's gonna be the easiest option. I actually do feel like I need to kind of refill on my pots because I've been finding myself like not having the pots that I need. And I also really want to find some cute like handmade pots. Actually, you know what I really want to do is to get back into pottery, because I did take one pottery class when I was in college and it got interrupted by COVID, which honestly I was so mad about. Since we weren't in person anymore, we physically could not complete the class. I think it was a pass-fail class anyways, so you know, that wasn't the concern, but I took the class because I was looking forward to having that elective and I always wanted to try pottery. So yeah, I'm still a little bit salty about that, but you know, it is what it is. And one of these days, someday, it's still on my list. Like I would love to take another pottery class, maybe when the kids get a little bit older, and maybe just get a chance to make my own pots in a studio if I can find a good one nearby. But anyway, besides that, I would like to support ceramicists that do pottery for a living or as a side gig. So if there are any people that you like to buy planters from, like handmade ceramic planters, drop them down below. I would love to check them out because I'm always on the lookout for new, nice, beautiful planters. And I would love to expand and round out my pottery collection a little bit more. This one's about to get so tall. This plant's kind of the opposite of the Ring of Fire, where the internal spacing is honestly quite massive, which makes it very easy to propagate, but less easy to grow up a moss pole, simply because you have to extend it so often. I would say that's probably the one downside. Like the one thing I don't love is trying to keep up with extending them so often. Oh, I need to do this first. Hang on, I'm getting ahead of myself because sometimes it just, you know, you just don't feel like getting all the stuff out, but then if you miss that ideal window of opportunity, then it just gets frustrating. It sounds like my children are not interested in staying in their room anymore, so I'm gonna need to wrap up as soon as possible.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi, baby girl. Which thankfully I just have to finish this one, and then I have one more plant that I was planning on doing. I'm impressed with how long they were able to play in a single space though. Like that's good. Somebody's here to say hi. Look at that. Do you see yourself? Say hi. Can you wave? Hi. Oh, do you want to say hi too? Be careful, stand up. Stand up. Can you say hi?
Hi.
You guys are so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I can't.
Cute. You're so cute. I'm gonna kind of cheat a little bit because these holes don't quite line up, but maybe I can salvage it just enough. Oh no. Oh dear.
Help me.
Mommy's making a big mess, but I'll have to clean it. Oh, are you helping? Oh, thank you very much. All right, that feels kind of unstable, but at least I did the thing, right? Oh, I need to trim these off though. Okay. So I still have that velvet halo micins that I need to do, but with my kids around, honestly, it's really hard to focus on filming. So I'm gonna clean this up, and I have been thinking about going thrift shopping because, sorry, my son's playing with his toy. I was thinking about thrift shopping to get some like new glass vessels or see if I can find any cool pottery or anything like that. I've been wanting to do that for a little while now, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So right now might be a good time to do that. I don't know if I'm gonna get any footage because I'm gonna have both kids with me, and you know, it's a little bit chaotic to manage everything at the same time. Like, you know, I can only focus on so many things at once. But I do think that I will film another day after today because I still need to do the velvet halo micins, as I said, and I have a couple of alocasia that I would like to repot, especially assuming I can find those glass vessels that I'm looking for. But my kids are making so much noise, I think I need to wrap up today here, unless I get footage at the thrift store. So yeah, I'll see you shortly. Is that beautiful? Oh, don't put your mouth on it. Gross. Hi, it's the next day. I did manage to get a very small amount of footage of the thrift store, but it was very busy and I was feeling very self-conscious, so I did not want to film a whole lot. But I did manage to find a handful of things that, I don't know, I figured they had a little bit of potential. Here's the first thing. I believe it's meant to be like a cookie jar type of deal. But the lid screws off, and then, I mean, this could make a really good terrarium, so I'll keep the lid just in case I change my mind in the future. But honestly, for now, I kind of dig it as like a glass vessel for like alocasia or anthurium, you know, like a no drainage glass vessel. No, $6, which is cheaper than what things like this normally cost. So I'm pretty happy with that. It has kind of a fun detail on the side that I think will add a little bit more interest, but it's still glass. I can still clearly see the root system and what's going on. Let's see. This next thing that I got is another just glass jar type thing. This one has a geometric pattern to it, kind of, but it's subtle enough that I don't think it's gonna be too bad. The one concern, and same with this one, the lip of the jar is just a smidgen smaller than the outside part, so I'll just have to be proactive about repotting it. I'm not too terribly worried, but sometimes the root system, if you let it get like super root bound, it could get stuck in a circumstance like this. But they didn't have anything better. Like, this was the best jar that they had, believe it or not. I was actually rather surprised. I feel like normally there are better options to choose from, but yeah, this was pretty much it. And the next thing, I actually thought this was quite adorable. Because it's opaque and has no drainage, I don't know that I would use it as like a pot per se. In theory, you could, although it does have a more narrow lip, which is the other kind of downside. But I think it's actually really cute. I could see myself using this as a propagation vessel, or honestly as just like a thing, you know, to set down as decoration. Because I feel like it doesn't take up a whole lot of interest because it's not super flashy. But I feel like if you needed something really neutral to balance some decoration out, you know, set it on top of a stack of books or something like that. I don't know. I feel like this could be really nice for that. So for some reason, I really liked this. I don't know. It's not anything special, but I liked it. But yeah, I couldn't really dig around as much as I would normally try to, or visit like a second thrift store because I had my kids with me and it was getting close to dinner and they were getting pretty grumpy, so I didn't want to push my luck. But I feel fairly happy with what I was able to find in such a short period of time. Now, as for what I'm going to use these for, at least this and this, the glass vessels, I actually have some alocasia that I need to repot, so I might do like a little bit of pot roulette because, like I mentioned in the past, alocasia I specifically prefer to keep in self-watering or no drainage pots. I just feel like they do way better in that circumstance. I don't know, that's just my personal experience, so that's what I prefer to do with them. Hopefully I have like the right sizes and stuff to work with. I don't know for sure. We're just gonna see. Finish my moss pole extensions and my velvet halo micans. So that's kind of first order of business. So yeah, I kind of gotta hurry because it's Saturday and we have plans this afternoon. So I'm actually filming this in the morning. My husband's got the kids and I'm like, listen, I need to knock out filming for this video. I just gotta get it done. I am very grateful to have someone who's a partner that's like really supportive of my YouTube channel and of my hobbies and that sort of thing, because he helps out quite a bit when he can. This should be pretty straightforward. Got plastic pieces flying everywhere. Okay, I mean this, I wish I had thought of this sooner, but I feel like it might be nice to have a way to like secure the back portion a little bit more. I don't know, because as is, it's kind of unstable. Maybe that will be a solution for another day. I feel like it's not quite that unstable for every single one of my moss poles that I do. I added this piece of plant Velcro right here, not around the plant, but just around the pole to like maybe keep it like a little bit more secure. Wow, there we are. I'm kind of letting these parts trail for now because I want to kind of see what that looks like. It's really quite beautiful, if you can see. The children are squabbling a little bit, but my husband can handle it. All right, well, now that that's done, all right, this is my Alocasia Dragon Scale, which I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that this is root bound because it's just been drying out so quickly, even though it's in a self-watering pot. And I mean, there is a root coming out the bottom there as well. So I'm going to attempt to get this out of here because I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit tight, but maybe, oh, maybe it's going to be okay. I don't know. Let's see. Seems promising. Oh, wow. Yeah, I was correct. That has a lot of, holy moly. Oh my gosh. So this is like the wicking cord right here. Let's see if I can, oh, that was so weird. I just had to like disembowel it. Oh, okay. That was so interesting. Well, look at, oh my gosh. All those roots really congregate on the bottom there. Wow. Okay, well, okay, so I could go corm hunting right now. But honestly, I don't know if I want to. I kind of want to just like leave them there because if there are any corms, I almost just want them to like potentially sprout up, which I think happens sometimes. Like right here, there's actually a corm right at the base of the plant right here. I don't know how you can see that. There's actually like several corms right at the base of the plant. Will they just sprout on their own? I think that they very well might. And if that's the case, I just want to leave them alone. So let me know if they actually do sprout on their own. Look, that's a massive corm. Oh my gosh. See, the trick is gonna be getting this to fit through. I might need to like loosen up this root system a bit. Because it certainly needs to be repotted, but now I'm a little bit concerned that, wow, that was actually so root bound. I wasn't planning on interfering this much, but it seems that I kind of have to. Oh my gosh. We are losing some roots in the process, but hopefully not too many. Oh, here's another giant corm on the bottom here. Wow. Now that I'm seeing it, I am a little bit tempted to take it out because there's something so satisfying about it. Oh my gosh. Here's no, okay. Well, this one just kind of came off. So maybe I'll take off the other one that I saw that was like on the bottom, because the ones towards the top, I think will kind of do it on their own. But the ones towards the bottom, I don't know that they would sprout on their own so far beneath the soil. I mean, maybe they would eventually, but oh my gosh, there's so many and they're huge. That's actually so satisfying. That's one thing I love about alocasia. That's a really satisfying way to get new plants. So here, these are the 3 corms that I found. Do you see how big they are? Like, look at this one. That's massive. Oh my gosh. That'll be a really nice plant. My daughter is being so loud downstairs. My husband took him to the basement, like directly beneath us. So you can probably totally hear them talking and stuff. Okay. It might be a little bit bunched at the bottom there, but hopefully the roots will kind of find their way. I like just made a fresh batch of soil. I feel like we're gonna go through it really quickly now because this is actually quite large. Oh no! Maybe I can tape it. I just like moved this leaf and it just like, no, it's detached. Oh, that's so sad. We lost a leaf, guys. It just like popped off. Oh, and that was a pretty nice one too. I don't think, it was not like a brand new leaf, so I don't feel so terrible because like, you know, it was probably gonna be the next one out anyways, but still, so disappointing. But it's okay. We actually have a new leaf coming in as we speak. And there were like all those corns too. Okay, wow. That's actually kind of fun. I hope that this will last a while in this vessel, but not too long because otherwise it will be such a hassle to get the plant out. So look at that. Oh, I'm happy with that. I'll have to water that in. I want to deal with these corms. I'll like peel them right now, maybe. And then, oh yeah, I've got some stuff I can use. I wish I had like a tool to do this because right now I'm just kind of peeling off this stuff with my fingers. I don't even know if this is necessary technically, but I looked up online how to sprout corms and this is what it said to do, is to like kind of peel it. This one's not coming off super easily. I also want to be gentle. But yeah, this is probably the biggest corm I've ever gotten. So that's kind of fun. I'm really just taking the tops off. Because again, like this is not being very easy to remove and I can't sit here all day. All right, well, I'll just nestle the corms in here for now. And I'll cover it with saran wrap and put it in the prop box so it'll be like pretty much 100% humidity. Here, I'll even cover them just slightly. There we go. Very simple. Okay, well, next, I guess I could, in theory, do like a little bit more pot roulette. Hang on, let me try to reinstall this like looking cord first. Yeah, that's gonna be good enough. I'm gonna need to figure out what's next because I had these 2 plants, but I'm not convinced that either one is ready for this pot. So this is Alocasia micholitziana. This is not my plant technically. My husband picked it out for his office, which if you joined us for the office plant saga, they ended up reinstalling or like installing new windows in his office and now his windowsill is massive. So instead of getting like one big bushy plant, which he still might do, he actually ended up picking up like 4 smaller-ish plants. So this is one of them that I need to repot. I already repotted the other 3. I think he got, if I can remember, oh, a Syndapsis pictus exotica. He got like a smallish plant of that. These were all like 4-inch pots. this Alocasia micholitziana. He also got a philodendron soderoy and a philodendron bilietiae. They're all in his office now, so that's very fun. But anyway, this one I still need to repot because I told him I wanted it to be not in terracotta like the other plants were in, for obvious reasons. This is like the new Alocasia Okinawa silver variegated that I got, but I'm on the fence as to whether or not I want to repot this today. But I was just thinking like it could be a possibility, so I don't know. I think, does this look like it would be a good size? Actually, we're gonna do this. We're gonna simplify it. I'm gonna hold off on repotting this. And I'm gonna hold onto the self-watering pot. Obviously, I have other plants that in the long run would love to be in this pot, but I'm gonna just put this in here, I think, and call it a day. And if there are any corms, I actually might be interested in taking one for myself. Just because I don't actually have this variety. I have the Alocasia Frydek, which is like the variegated version of the Alocasia micholitziana. I don't actually have my own micholitziana. So yeah, if there are any spare corms, I might kind of nab one. But yeah, I was so happy that my husband saw this plant specifically and was like, oh, I love that plant. What is that? And I was like, oh, it's an Alocasia micholitziana. I'm so happy that you like it. I feel like he and I often don't have exactly the same taste of plants, which is totally fine, obviously, but I just think it's kind of funny. But when we do have a plant that we both like, it's very fun. So there is technically, I think, one corm or growth point that I see right here, but it's like really embedded in there. So I think I'd rather just leave it because it's not like an obvious. My children are in their screaming competition again. There's not like an obvious corm for me to take other than that one, and that one's not very easy to pull out. So, oh, actually, oh, is there this one? Here's another one. There's several of those actually, but they're not very easy to extract. See? So I think technically these are corms, but they're not like easy to pluck off like the other ones have been. So yeah, I'm not gonna touch them. One of these days. I don't necessarily need another plant right now. But I don't know. It's so tempting to just pull it off. There are several of them. But I would have to really. Ooh, is this one? Hang on. Oh. Okay. I guess I sort of accidentally did it anyways. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Hang on, there's another one. Oh my gosh, here's another one. There's like literally so many. Okay, I guess since there's so many, maybe. You just saw me verbally process all of that. Wow. I changed my mind about 5 different times just now. That was probably exhausting to watch. But so this may have been a no-no. It's still like kind of attached to the roots. I don't know. But there's these 2 that I just nabbed, and we'll see if anything happens. They might not be like mature enough to really do much. I don't. Oh my gosh. Okay, I just accidentally did another one. So I have 3. Chaos is ensuing. Okay, here's what that looks like.
Go sit down, I'll bring you some.
Clay, look, it's your plant.
Nice.
It does have a new leaf coming in, which is very fun.
The self-watering pot?
So not self-watering, but it's no drainage, which they like. So, oh shoot, I did forget a step though. I'm very sad to say I completely forgot a step with both of these like not self-watering, both of these Alocasia. When you do no drainage, it's best to have like a layer of leca or something on the bottom. So I'm gonna have to redo this very, very quickly because I'm running out of time here. I'm gonna put these corms. As you can see, there's a lot of chaos happening. Okay. I'm gonna try to do this quickly. Very quickly, I'm going to redo this, but like on like turbo speed mode, okay? Okay, well, now that's done. So, oh my goodness, child, did you just find ice cream? Okay, well, we're not gonna do that right now. All right, well, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, please feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe. All those things are super helpful for my channel. And yeah, I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye-bye.